And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalzewski.
We are back again, Kings fans, here to talk about 4 games on the Los Angeles Kings roster in probably like 3 nights. Let's get into it.
That's right, Kings fans. We're here to talk about the game against the Dallas Stars, talk about the game against the Calgary Flames, talk about the other game against the Calgary Flames, and we'll also talk about tonight's game against the Phoenix Coyotes. We're also going to give our top 5 things that the Calgary Flames did on their day off in Los Angeles.
Here we go, episode 183, entitled, Jarome Iginla Will Not Be a Los Angeles King.
Back talk a little Kings hockey. Kings been playing pretty well at home, surprisingly. You know, obviously last year there was sort of an iffy home schedule, but this year they've been absolutely tearing it up. Hadn't lost, and I think they'd won 5 games in a row at home at the time. Before they played the Dallas Stars for the first time of the season, so it was interesting to see how they would play match up against that division opponent.
They did not do very well, of course, losing 5-2. It's going to happen. You know, still though, Los Angeles Kings winning a lot more games than they're losing. So to me, I say, F it.
Yeah, whatever. Came out a little flat. Weren't able to keep up with the Stars, you know. Sun shines in a dog's ass sometimes.
It does. So coming in to Staples Center on Saturday, Calgary Flames in town for not a home and home, but a home and home again at Staples Center. I'm not sure what they call that. Calgary Flames, of course, looking like absolute dog crap this year. My apologies, Flames fans. It's got to be very difficult. That said, we know how you feel. We've been there. Los Angeles Kings rocking out with their cocks out, winning 6-2. Chris, what an exciting game to attend.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you talk about the offensive explosion that's been occurring this year, and not just in the third, but just throughout against some of these opponents. The bottom line is that they're beating teams that they should. You know, Calgary Flames, teams the Kings should absolutely beat. Jeff Carter, of course, with yet another goal, scoring his 17th. And everyone, it's just like, we realized this last time that we saw him on the ice, and it was just like everyone, it's almost like he's 99 out there. It's like when you see the 77 out there, you get excited, and every single shot that he had, Kings fans are just like, oh! I mean, it's very exciting to me because rarely do the Kings have a player who's in the tops in the league in scoring. Of course, Carter number 2.
Rarely, you mean never?
Yeah, rarely in the last 20 years anyway. So it was nice to see that offensive explosion. Everyone got a little piece of the pie. It was a fantastic win and a expected win, really.
Yeah, you got to credit Jeff Carter for training in the offseason. Lombardi said in an interview somewhere that it's the hardest he's ever seen him train, and it's definitely paying off, which just goes to show you, Drew Doughty, that if you train really hard in the offseason, you can score a lot of goals. But the Calgary Flames, Chris, let's talk about them for a little bit. They're now last in the league. Columbus Blue Jackets playing better hockey than them, looking like they might get that first overall pick there. You got to start to wonder now, trade deadline, it's coming up a little bit, and you got a couple names out there. Mika Kiprusoff, are they going to dump him? Jarome Iginla, a lot of people have said, this is a guy that we would love to see in Los Angeles. My question is, where does he fit? Your top 2 right wings are, Justin Williams, who's, been playing a little bit better, and then, of course, Jeff Carter, and I think it's safe to say that Carter ain't going nowhere.
No, exactly. Not seeing that happen. I think maybe a couple years ago was something they might have entertained.
Sure.
But I think at this point, with his contract status and his age, it's just really not going to be a fit at this point. Hey, if you're talking 8 years ago, I'd take Iginla in a second, really over a lot of the roster players on the Kings. But Iginla, it's time to blow that team up. I would even throw Camilleri, maybe even Tanguay in that mix right now. I mean, if I were the GM of the Flames, I would blow it up in flames.
All right, Kings fans, so another weird schedule blip kind of thing that happened because of the lockout. So we're seeing the Calgary Flames on Saturday. We're seeing them again on Monday. So all teams had a day off. Kings at home with the kids, maybe doing a little drinking, Drew Doughty, Dustin Penner, who knows. But the Calgary Flames, they're in Los Angeles. They had a day off. So we present to you the top 5 things that the Calgary Flames did on their day off.
Number 5. Michael Camilleri roamed the streets of L.A. praying for someone to actually recognize him.
Didn't happen. Number 4, Mika Kiprusoff went to Skid Row looking for a new home.
Number 3, Jarome Iginla met with Daryl Sutter and decided he didn't want to be coached by him again. So he re-upped in Calgary for another 7 years.
Number 2, the Flames had a team dinner at Spago, which, like the Flames, is old, barely relevant, and needs to be torn down.
And the number 1 thing the Calgary Flames did on their day off in Los Angeles, Jay Feaster hit up the Santa Monica Pier, went fishing, but found out he was too fat to fish.
And back again to the Calgary Flames. Broken record here, Chris, back at Staples Center. You know, a lot of people saying if Calgary lost this game, they had to blow it up. They lost the game, and they're hopefully going to blow it up. Losing, of course, 3-1 to the Los Angeles Kings. Not as much of a goal-scoring extravaganza for the Kings and, some late third period lapses, but we did manage to get another win there. Jonathan Quick again with another win.
Yeah, Dustin Brown and the Kings just jumped on the Flames early. It was 2-0 after the first period, and looking like it was going to be another one of those 6-2 games. Nothing in the second, and Quick, of course, came painfully close to getting that shutout. I thought he deserved it. Gave up a goal with less than 6 minutes remaining, so didn't get it. Brown with another goal, the empty netter to seal the win with the 3-1 win. But great game, like we said. Got to beat the Flames. Team that needs to be blown up. Kings really playing on fire, like the Flames.
That's right. And then, of course, another game right after last night that was coming into tonight against the Phoenix Coyotes. Of course, if you were there, we had the KingsCast watch party at Novel Bar, Novel Cafe. Thanks for the handful of you that did attend, mostly family members. But that said, Chris, this was just ripe for a loss. And to me, the big red flag that I had coming into tonight was when Jonathan Quick was starting again. Now, I realize Daryl Sutter's trying to ride the hot hand, but asking a goalie to go in again 24 hours later, to me, is just ludicrous. Quick, of course, looking not so much like Jonathan Quick tonight.
We played this game last week. We played this game where it was a back-to-back, and Sutter went with the hot hand, and it just didn't pay off. And it was pretty quick where it was evident that it wasn't going to pay off again. Kings able to make it a little bit closer in the third, narrowing the gap to 4-2, but then gave up a killer goal to some guy that absolutely known in the bar who, what's his name?
Klinkhammer?
Klinkenhammer?
I don't know. Something like that. And just deflated the Los Angeles Kings. Mike Richards had a goal tonight. Mike Richards has kind of been subtly turning it on. And talk for a second about Dustin Penner. Dustin Penner is really playing like the Anaheim Ducks Dustin Penner as of late the past few games, so it's nice to see him out there. Keaton Ellerby kind of looks terrible. Another note, Davis Druiski replaced Alec Martinez in the lineup. There's a guy that might go at the deadline if Lombardi can put a package together, but not a lot of positives to come out of tonight. But that said, Chris, when you're winning more games than you're losing, you're ahead, and when you're playing the second night, it's to me, it's an acceptable loss.
Yeah, you know what? The one person I want to throw out there in the last 5 or 6 games is Jake Muzzin. Talk about a guy who would not have had a chance in hell without the injuries to Mitchell and Green. Talk about a guy who's really taking advantage of his opportunity, getting tons of awesome power play minutes, scoring some serious goals, and the guy's got a great shot. Clearly better than Doughty, who's into game 26 without a goal. But I'm actually really proud of Muzzin, and he's making the Kings' defensive depth look even better than I thought it was. So.
Yeah, if you're looking at a guy that could replace Alec Martinez, it is Jake Muzzin. So cheers to you, Jake Muzzin. Not much in the looks category, but certainly not a little bit in the hockey category.
All right, Kings fans. So obviously lost tonight, but Kings still playing really well, getting more wins than losses, like we said. So we're going to throw out our question of the day, like we were talking about. Trade deadline going to be coming up here in the next month. Who's on your radar? Who do you think the Kings would trade, and what do you want to get? Throw your comments at downstairs.
And Kings fans, we'll be right back at you next week. I'll be on a little family vacation. Chris and our badass blogger Alex is going to be sitting in for me, so look for that in a new KingsCast location. I'm Keith Cornelick.
And I'm Chris Kalaszewski.
Thanks for watching Overtime by KingsCast.